Hi everybody, welcome to my channel. I'm going to be creating 2 cards for Blue Night rubber stamps using the new Panda Bamboo stamp. Let's get started. For our first card, we're going to use Panda Bamboo, which comes with this sentiment and this big stamp. Never forget, the difference you make is what the sentiment says. I'm going to be using a piece of the Blue Night rubber stamps designer paper, Northern Lights. Look at these beautiful papers. Have you ever seen anything this gorgeous? I have tried through the years to do my own Northern Lights backgrounds, and I'm not very good at it. So I am thrilled that we have these papers, and the back side looks like this. And that's the side that I'm going to use for my Panda card. Yes, I like the back side. I like the front sides. I love all of these papers. It's kind of hard to choose one to go with. But I just love the rainbow and the Northern Lights. This reminds me of the time that I saw the Northern Lights at my house. Yes, I live in Pennsylvania, Western Pennsylvania, up in the mountains, and there was a time 2 years ago when we actually got to see the Northern Lights from our yard. It was amazing. There were a lot of pinks, but there were also some greens as well. So anyways, I'm using the Blue Night rubber stamp through stencil sun and moon, which has these circles cut out, and I'm going ahead and using some metallic silver ink to make my moon. Very easy to create a moon if you have the stencil and the metallic silver ink. You can use any metallic silver ink. Now I'm going to go ahead and put my stamp positioned on this paper, and I'm going to go ahead and stamp this with archival ink. It's jet black archival ink. Using a stamp positioner platform, that way if I need to re-ink it, I can do that. Just always make sure that your paper is in the same spot each time. My ink is a little dry, so I'm going to go ahead and re-ink it. By the way, you can buy archival ink and re-inker at Blue Night Rubber Stamp. And I'll have a link below in my description box for all the products that I'm using today. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I'd love it if you would subscribe, and that helps me tremendously to grow my channel. It doesn't cost you anything to subscribe. If you've already subscribed, thank you and welcome back. Please give this video a thumbs up while you're watching, and don't forget to leave a comment. I love to read your comments. I like to hear what you think about the cards that I've created and which one is your favorite, because I usually create 2 different cards. Okay, now we have our cute panda hanging on the bamboo, stamped right over this moon. Now I'm going to use a white gel pen and color in the panda. This works out really well, and it just helps to help the panda just pop a little bit off the page. And how easy is this to color? So simple. Because pandas, as you know, are black and white, and all I need to do is just color in the white with this gel pen. I'll never forget the time I went to the Washington Zoo and saw the real live pandas. So I was in Washington, D.C. for a conference. This was way back when, probably back in 2015 maybe, 2014, somewhere back then. And they had just received 2 pandas from China, and they were the most adorable animals. They are just so cute. They just look like gigantic teddy bears. They look just so cuddly and lovable. And through the years, I've watched different YouTube videos of these pandas playing in Washington, D.C. I think they had to send them back, but I think they got different ones. They're so cute. And the one time it snowed and the pandas were rolling down in the snow in Washington at the zoo. It was so cute. the Washington Zoo is free. So if you're ever in DC and you're visiting, that's always a nice place to go. All right, I'm taking my white gel pen and I'm just highlighting these leaves, these bamboo leaves. Now, if you've ever worked with gel pens, you know they can be really fussy. So I have a piece of scrap paper on the side that I'm just scribbling on to get my ink flowing. Yeah, I think these gel pens dry up quickly. Every time I go to a stamp show, I always try to buy new ones, but it seems once you open them and start using them, they seem to dry up really quickly. I wish there was some other brand or gel pen out there. I've used the Pentel and the Jelly Roll. Those are the ones that I'm using, but it's kind of frustrating sometimes trying to get the ink to lay down. And it's not the papers, it's just these things are very fussy. I have about 7 of them here that I'm using. I hate to throw them out because I've only used them a couple times. So with my white gel pen, I kind of colored a little bit over the black. So I'm just taking a black marker and it's a very fine tipped black marker, and I'm just going back over the area that I messed up. Next, I'm just going to take a regular green marker and I'm going to color in the bamboo, the shaft that the Panda is hanging on to. And this really does help. I think this is an Arteza marker. It's just a regular marker, folks. Anything would work, even Crayola. And I'm just going to go ahead with my gel pen and just put some stars, just some little white dots to make it look like stars. Now, I don't know if a panda has ever seen the Northern Lights. I Googled it, and it did say that in China, someplace in the north, there are times when you can see the Northern Lights. So I figured, oh well. You know, it's card making. It might not be that common of an occurrence, but it worked out really well for my card. Now for my second card, I'm going to use Pan Pastels. Pan Pastels are the pastels that are finely milled and they're in a pan. Now, there's lots of different colors. You can get 2 or 3 different palettes over at Blue Night. Blue Night has the day and night and the sunrise sunset, and then they have the pastels. I've been using Pan Pastels for many years, so I have those sets, plus I have some others that I've added. And Pan Pastels remind you of an eyeshadow, like a very finely milled, but there's not much fallout. It's not like chalk, so please don't think that you're looking at chalk, because it's nothing like chalk. It's almost like an ink that's dry. That is how intense these colors are. They are very vibrant, and they're so easy to use. You're not applying hardly any pressure at all. You don't need to use a lot of product. And you can use these little makeup sponges or the soft tools that you can buy that are specially made. The difference between a makeup sponge and a soft tool, the soft tools are firmer of a foam, whereas makeup sponges are a little bit more soft. So anyways, I just made this sort of stencil on my own. I wanted a gigantic sun, and I just used one of my dies that I had in my stash. Okay, so this is what it looks like after I apply the red. And now I'm just going to use a little brush to just kind of clean that little bit up. Normally there's not that much fallout. It's probably more noticeable because of that color. And then I just take the mask and I put it right over top. And that's just a piece of paper that I used with my die cut. I just used some heavy duty cardstock. And now I'm going to go in with my Pan Pastels. This is a yellow color. And I'm just going to color the panel with that first. I'm just adjusting the piece of paper. So I started with yellow and then I add orange on top of the yellow. So I'm just going for like a bright sunset type thing. And pan pastels really look nice when you make it, how can I say this? Streaky. It's not a very good word probably to describe what I'm doing, but I am not trying in my second color of orange. I'm just going in and making some streaks. It's so stripes. Okay. And then I'll go back in with my yellow and just sort of blend it at the end. And so I'm just alternating between my orange and my yellow. And then I do use a little bit of red iron oxide, which is a real dark red. And like I said, I'm just trying to make it look streaky. And I think that looks nice. I'm happy with how that turned out. Now let's go ahead and stamp with pan pastels. You can stamp right on top of them. Go ahead and put my panel in my stamp platform. I'm using my Tim Holtz stamp platform for this card. You can use a Misty, anything you have works. I'm just making sure my magnet isn't interfering with my stamp. Okay, I'm going to use archival ink. This is jet black. Oh, by the way, Blue Night Rubber Stamp sells these magnetic handles that you could use on your inks. And the magnetic handles are attached through a plate that they send you with this magnetic handle. And basically it saves you from trying to grip onto a ink pad with your fingers and then dropping it. How many times have I done that where before I started using these I would drop it and then the whole card would be ruined because I would get black ink everywhere. So I am re-inking it, and because my paper is in the same spot, we don't have any problems here re-inking this. All right, now let's move on to the next step. I did grab another stamp. It's called Silhouette Corner Foliage, and I'm just using the foliage edge there, and I'm just filling in a little bit of my card on the bottom right hand corner. I just felt like that looked kind of bare, so I wanted to go ahead and stamp a little bit of something in that corner, and I thought this was the foliage that kind of matched the bamboo. See, all it does is just adds a little something in the corner, that's all. I told you that pan pastels are like dry ink. Well, guess what? You can erase them. So unlike ink, which you cannot erase, you can erase pan pastels. So I want my panda to look white, not red. So I'm going to go in where the panda would be white and where the bamboo would be colored in green. And I'm going to go ahead and erase. I just have a real tiny fine tipped eraser here. And I'm just erasing, and my ink is not smearing or anything like that. It's archival ink, so it's going to be just fine and it'll stay put. Yeah, so that's another reason why I love pan pastels, because you can erase your mistakes, or you're erasing an area that you want to color in with something else, or in the case of the panda, that you would like to be white. Yep, pan pastels are wonderful. Please look at my Blue Night Rubber Stamp playlist. I have lots of videos using pan pastels. They're so much fun. And then finally, I'm going to go ahead and color my panda in with a white gel pen, just like I did my other panda. And I'll take a green marker and color in the bamboo. And that's it. That's it. I didn't put any sentiments. I figured I can always add a sentiment later. And I want to make sure I mention, when you're done, you do have to spray the pan pastels with the fixative. I use just hairspray. Some people use Krylon. Hairspray works just fine. Basically, when you're done with everything, you want to just take a light mist, like aerosol hairspray, real quick, really very little. That's all you need, is just a little. You don't have to saturate it or anything like that, and it helps from anything smearing on people's fingers when they touch the card. Here are some close-up photos of the final cards that I created. I want to thank you very much for watching. Again, please give it a thumbs up. Please leave a comment letting me know what you think about these cards. And if you have not yet joined Fans of Blue Night Rubber Stamps on Facebook, head on over there and join so you can see what the other design team members did with their Panda Bamboo cards. They made some beautiful cards. Thanks so much for watching. Have a hopeful day. Bye-bye.